Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie, and I'm the manager at Sherwood Branch at Milton Public Library. And here at Sherwood, we are offering a new tech hub where we'll be featuring a variety of new technologies and providing some training and certification on how to use those technologies. With this video, I'm going to be walking you through the basic certification of our Cricut mug press. So to begin, I'll talk about the Milton Public Library Tech Hub more generally. This is what it looks like. Come take a look at it in person. We're going to be offering our continued service of bamboo 3D printing, but in doing so, we'll also be certifying patrons through program offerings on the use of Tinkercad, which is a free application in learning how to do 3D print designs. We're also going to be walking patrons through the use of the Cricut Maker 3 and its associated design lab. We'll also be going over different kinds of Cricut heat pressing, which today we'll be going over the mug press itself and the associated sublimation printer, which for us here at the Tech Hub is the Epson model. So what does this certification look like? We're going to be offering various programs throughout the year that you can register for. They'll be free to register. And what you can do as a patron is come and take part in this training. And then after certified, a note will be placed on your library card account. And you can come in at your own leisure within regular operating hours of the library and use the technology you've been certified to use at the Tech Hub, again, at your own leisure. The mug press is a really fun technology that you can become certified in the use of. And basically, you can design various different elements. You can let your creativity flow, and you can press that design onto a mug so that it's dishwasher and it is also microwave safe. To design, you can use really any design application that's at your disposal. But I recommend using the Canva application in particular because it's really easy to use and it's free to register. If you already have a Canva account, many people do, it's something that you can use, that you're familiar with and that you can then use to explore in the creation of designs for this mug press. If you've never used Canva before, you can create a free account by going to canva.com, clicking the right purple icon button that says sign up in the right-hand side of the screen. You'll be prompted to put your email in as well as create a username. And through your email that you've provided, you'll be given a number code that that you can enter in when prompted, and that will take you to the design space. The design space looks like what you see here in the left-hand corner of the screen. You'll be prompted to create a design by clicking a large purple button in the left-hand corner. And once you do that, I recommend clicking presentation because it will give you a horizontal view of your design. You will also want to, and I recommend in any case, opening up a document file as well. So having two windows open, one with the presentation and one with the doc presentation, because the doc will be the easiest to download later when using that particular design in the sublimation printer. So to get started, familiarize yourself with the left-hand icon menu. You'll see various different icons, one design, another elements. Click on elements and type in rectangle, and you'll have the option to explore various shapes. And I recommend clicking the square button. And once you do that, you can, a square will pop up on your screen. You can click the corner of the square and drag it, and it becomes a rectangle, as you see here. Now, I've created two rectangles on this page. The one, A, is one that I've stretched to size on the right-hand side of my design space. And that size is going to be the perfect minimal size you'll want for your mug. You can always make it a little larger, but this will be the right size that you need for the mug press. And then you can move your rectangle back to the horizontal view so you can start designing. Now, the rectangles are only used as a perimeter, as a space to kind of restrict your design so that you know it's the right size for your mug. And I recommend making 2 of them so that you can really maximize the printer paper. So maybe you're only printing 1 mug, but you have 1 whole sheet of printer paper so you can print a second design and then decide between the 2 of them. And you can always use the second design, if not for a mug, you can always use it for something else to press on. The sublimation printer will allow for pressing of various materials, and we can go over that in another tutorial. So just to go over this left navigation bar a little further, I call it the vertical sidebar. You can use the design elements to insert various templates and styles that you'd like if you're very wanting a certain kind of look and feel for your design. The elements we've already explored a little bit, but you can add so many different things through this icon, cartoons, images, shapes, and really make your design unique and your own. You can write a message through the text icon, such as Happy Holidays. You can insert logos through the brand icon. So if you're starting a side hustle, this is a great option for you. You can upload images using the uploads icon, and you can also draw something original through the draw icon. And these are the ones that we'll focus on today because they're really the ones that will be used most likely for this kind of design. But please, if you are exploring Canva for the first time, take the time on your own, and especially since it's a free software you can access on any device, you can make sure to do so at home on your own time and try to make something of this new technology. Now, something I should mention is when you're exploring elements for your design, say you wanted to make a holiday mug, I really liked these Christmas lights, this icon here, and I found them just by clicking elements first and then typing in holiday in the search engine. When I clicked this particular icon, this image, I noticed that there wasn't a crown icon embedded within it. And that's because this is a free image. You don't need the Canva Pro, which is an upgrade that you pay for to access this particular image. So just be mindful that some images you do need the upgrade for and others you don't. And this particular one, it was free to use. There was no crown icon attached to indicate Pro, and I was able to enter it onto my canvas without problem. So just be mindful of that and begin designing. You can really add anything you'd like within the perimeter of your rectangle. And later on, we'll be removing the rectangle in order to really, it will have its use after you've completed your design, and it's no longer needed. So this is my final design. I've added some snowmen, some trees, some gifts, and a sleigh, and I've added Happy Holidays, and why not? I've added the Milton Public Library logo because, we are the Milton Public Library, and this is something that we're featuring here at our hub, and very excited about it. So when I've completed my design, I'm going to click on the perimeter of the rectangle, and I'm just simply going to delete it. You can use your delete button on your keyboard, and then I'm going to click this rectangle, right click it, copy the rectangle's perimeter, and I'm going to group all of these items together. So another way to do that is really to drag your mouse or your cursor on the outside of all the shapes and copy all of them, and then an icon to group them will appear. You're going to then copy that grouped area and add it onto or paste it onto your doc file because it will be easier for printing later. You can still download your image from the presentation image that you see here or canvas, but the document canvas will be a little bit easier to download from. All right, so once you've removed your border and you have your designs in place, you're then going to click on File and Download. And from here, you'll see that you have the now option to use the Tech Hub itself. So all until this point, you could have been designing from home, You could be designing within a library program. You could also use the iMac available, or we have 2 iMacs at the Tech Hub for designing if you'd like. But really, the only time you'll absolutely need to use the Tech Hub technology is when you're going to finally print your design. So when you come into the library to use the Tech Hub, you will go to the front desk and you will note that you have certification and that you've signed a waiver for use under your library card. The staff will confirm this, and then they'll provide you with a kit for the mug press. Now, to use the mug press, it will cost $10 to purchase a mug. So a sublimation mug, it's a very special mug, as well as 1 sublimation print paper, and also to use the technology itself. So within your kit, you'll have 1 mug sublimation mug, 1 sublimation print paper sheet, 1 Cricut mug press. You'll have, we'll provide you with a keyboard and mouse to use the iMac. You'll need to be plugged in at the very back of the iMac as pictured here. And that will be, there'll be another space also to eventually plug in the printer as well to that particular iMac you're using. Then you'll have heat-resistant tape provided in your kit, as well as a lint roller, butcher paper, scissors, a cork board, and instruction sheet with QR code to this video. Now, when you have plugged in your mouse and your keyboard, you can log into the iMac with the password that's on a sticker on the iMac screen, which you can see here, A. And you can open canva.com, sign in, and find your design. You're then going to click File and Download and select the printable PDF option. Then a pop-up window will appear, which is what you see here, B, and click on it. A new window will open, select File, and then select Print. When you do this, make sure that the print is an 8x11 standard size print size. And this is why I recommended that you copy your design and put it into a document canvas within Canva beforehand. So just double check that. And then you're going to make sure that the Epson printer is selected. And then what's really great about this particular printer is it's going to make sure that your image is mirrored before it's printed. So your wording of Happy Holidays will present backwards in a mirror form so that it can actually be printed rightwards onto your mug. But you should always select the print preview option just to make sure that the image is in fact mirrored. Now it's time to make sure the printer is in place. You're going to plug the printer in if it isn't already, and press the start button, which you can see here labeled B. You're also going to insert your paper in the tray, which you can see labeled A, and make sure that the printer paper is upside down so that the wording on the back is showing. Put the tray back into place. Make sure the printer is plugged into the iMac you've been using. You'll need to use an adapter for this, which will also be in your kit. And you can see how I've plugged it in here through this image. And then you're going to initiate the print. When the print comes out, you can see here it's been mirrored, so the writing is backward, and so that it's printed the right way onto your mug. You're going to cut around the perimeter of your shape of your design and do so in a wavy line. So if you cut in straight lines, the straight lines will actually show once pressed onto the mug. Position your cutout where you see fit on your mug. So as I was mentioning before, make sure if you have wording, if you want it at the front of your mug, that it's placed at the front of your mug, that it's fairly center. You'll have to eyeball this as best you can. And then you're going to tape it into place using the heat-resistant tape that's provided. You're also then going to cover the mug with brown paper, the brown butcher paper that's been provided for you in the kit, and place that in place using your heat-resistant tape as well. Place the mug inside the Cricut mug press slot where you see it fits, and do so after plugging in the Cricut mug press. The start button, which you see A, will be red at first and will turn green once it's ready. So the machine will be heating up during that time. And then once the mug's in place, you're going to then push down on the lever, which is B. And what's great about the Cricut mug press is it really just does its own thing. There's not really much to it. Though there will be 5 lights and each will turn on as it's progressing. So once the 5th light is on, which you see in this final image, the machine will beep, and that's how you know it's done its pressing, it's complete. So the press will take approximately 7 minutes to complete. And once it's done, like I said, it will beep. You'll remove by holding the handle of the mug only. So you have to be very careful because the mug will be very hot. And you're going to place the mug onto a cooling cork board that's provided in your package, in your kit. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, before you place your printed paper onto the mug and tape it into place, you're going to want to use a lint roller and clean off the mug to make sure there's no dust or particles on the mug, because those will show with the print of your mug afterward. So you're going to let this sit for 15 minutes on the cooling cork board, and then you're going to carefully remove the first layer of the parchment paper or the butcher paper, and then your printed paper, and you should have a beautiful design that's left behind. Your image will be revealed. Now, just something to note, only ceramic sublimation mugs can go in the Cricut mug press between 11 and 15 ounces. And all materials and everything you'll need will be provided by the library. If you would like an additional mug, all of their mugs, is including your initial mug that you're using, will be an additional cost of $10. So I want to thank you now for listening to this presentation. We are always here to help, but this video is really meant to be a reminder of the certification training that you have undergone through the program offering. Other videos and other certification will be offered throughout the year as mentioned, and we're really, really excited to be showcasing the various new technologies that we are able to provide you at the Milton Public Library and at Sherwood Branch in particular. Thank you all for listening. Bye for now.